Hello, boys and girls. Welcome to the Dow Academy Online Learning. We look forward to seeing you all back in class. But for now, stay home, stay safe, and remember to always wash your hands with soap for at least 20 seconds. Let's begin.
Right, I promised that I would show you the diagrams and the breeding process using the diagram in your book. Let's look at these two diagrams, these two animals here, and the two diagrams. We have this one and the other diagram there. Let's start with the first one. When you look at these two animals, this is a pure breed horned cow. It has horns. This is a pure breed pawed bull. Pawed means that it has no horns. These are not horns, these are ears. The head has no horns. So farmers would prefer either animals that have got no horns. Most farmers would prefer to keep such animals. As you can see from this diagram, all these animals are pawed without horns. You can see they are pawed. These are the diagram in your book. It has no horns, only ears. Even this one, no horns. It means that many farmers prefer to keep pawed animals for particular reason, because no animals that have got horns, they poke each other, they damage the skin, and when you want to sell the skin that is damaged fetches low prices, or it may not even be bought. Sometimes the horns also cause injuries to the animals and lowering the quality of the production of meat or production of milk, because an animal that is suffering from wounds may not actually produce well. So they want to keep the pawed animals to avoid such problem. And even in terms of transportation, the space in the crawl space in the vehicles that are transporting the animals can actually be increased if you have got pawed animals. So all those are some of the advantage of keeping pawed animals. Then let's talk about breeding now. When farmers want to keep these animals, they would want to breed the animals so that they come up with young ones or cattle that have got no horns. So in this case, you are going to select from your animals. You can select this and these two. This is a pure breed cow with horns, pure breed cow, pure breed bull without horn. And the genetic makeup of the two as follows. The cow has got small letter h, lowercase letter h, mean that it is a pure breed, but the genes are recessive for being pawedness. So it can only appear to have no horns if there is no dominant gene for having horns. So this is a pure breed, and it is going to show in the outward appearance as having no horns because the genes here are recessive. Then the cow has got capital letter P, indicating that these are dominant genes. So this is a pure breed cow with dominant genes for having horns. When you cross this one using our Punnett square, this is the Punnett square, which shows possible combination of the young ones that are produced in terms of the genes. What are the combinations of the genes? What alleles make up the genes of the young ones? So we cross the bull and the cow. When you combine this capital letter P and small letter h, you produce capital letter P, capital letter A. That's the combination of the alleles to form up the gene for this young one. The same applies to this one. Combine this and that, you produce the same. This and that, you produce the same. This and that, you produce the same. So all the four young ones that are produced from these parents have got dominant gene for what? For pawedness. Where the bull is pawed here, it has got a dominant gene for podness. Then these young ones which are produced, remember, cows don't produce 2, 3, 4 cows in a year or at a go, the way it is done in chicken, or the way chicken produce young ones, or rabbits or pigs. They can produce 6, 7 and so forth. But cows produce, in most cases, one calf per year. So for you to come up with these 4 young ones or 4 offsprings, it means that you have to do this, or you have to allow these 2 animals to mate for 4 years and produce young ones. And if the young one that are produced is a combination of female and a male, say for example this one is a male, this one is a female offspring or young one, allow them to grow. When they reach a stage 18 months and so, they are ready for mating, they are sexually mature, you can now pick these two and then you allow them to mate again to produce young ones here. Now let's talk about first the ratio here. When you look at all these 4, they are all pod because of the dominant gene for podness, meaning the young ones are 100% pod. If we are picking these 2 now, these are the offspring here. The young ones that are produced from 2 pure breeds are called hybrid. They have got characteristics that are much better than the parents, the 2 parents. We combine the genes from these 2 now. This is a hybrid cow with the genetic makeup or the genotype P, capital letter P, small letter h, or lowercase letter h. Then we have the bull here with the genotype, genetic makeup or the genes with this combination, capital letter H, small letter, capital letter P, small letter h. We'll cross this now. The combination of the alleles as follows. Combine this allele and that allele, you produce capital letter P, capital letter P. Combine this allele and that allele, you produce a gene which is capital letter P, small letter h. Combine this allele and that allele, you produce that one. This allele and that one, you produce small letter h. Both alleles are small letter h, mean that the young one now is going to be, the young one which is produced here is going to have horns. So out of these 4 here, all these are going to have, they are going to be pod. This one is dominant. Both alleles are dominant for podness. This one has got 2 alleles, a recessive allele for horn and a dominant allele for podness. But because of the dominant allele for podness, the young one or the offspring is going to be pod, meaning without horns, without horns. The same applies to this one. So we have the genetic makeup of capital letter P, capital letter P, capital letter P, capital letter H. 1, 2, 3 offsprings are going to be pod. Only 1 is going to be with horns, horned young one. Which means when you look at the ratio here, the ratio now indicates that 1, 2, 3 against 1 is going to be pod and horned respectively. Meaning the ratio will be 3 to 1. It's going to be like this. It's going to be 3 to 1. That's the ratio, meaning that there are 3 offsprings that are pod and 1 offspring or young one that will have horns. And this ratio can be produced maybe after 4 years, because this young one, the total number of young ones here will be 4. you come up with this within 4 years. So that is the breeding we call monohybrid, meaning that the young ones that are produced are inheriting one characteristic of being pod. This one, these three here, have inherited one characteristic of podness, meaning without horns. And this young one here, it has inherited uh, horns. That's one characteristic. And in terms of phenotype, the physical appearance of the young one, these three are going to appear physically without horns. This one, only one, is going to appear with horns. That's the phenotype. Remember, phenotype is the physical appearance or the outward appearance of a living thing. The outward appearance of this cow here, this hybrid, and the outward appearance of that one. Okay? But remember, both hybrid appeared to have without horns or pod. But when you breed these two, they are going to produce a horned animal, a horned young one. Now the outward appearance of this young one will have horns, meaning that the genetic makeup and the phenotype are quite different. Although the genetic makeup will result into the phenotype. The genetic makeup for this one is PH, capital P, small letter P, sorry, capital P, small letter H. This is the genotype or the genetic makeup of the young one or this animal. But the phenotype now will be how this young one going to appear in the physical realm. When you look at it, it appears without horns. It looks without horn. It looks from the outward. You can see that there are no horns. But this one here, the physical appearance is that the cow has got horns. So finally, we can say now the farmer here has got pod animals. All the young ones are pod without horns. That could be one characteristic a farmer would want to have, which means for a farmer who wants to keep pod animals, will end at this stage here. You just breed and produce the first generation of the young ones without horns. Then you end there. That is what breeding is all about. And this is monohybrid breeding, where the animals are going to inherit one characteristic. Thank you very much. In case you have got any further questions, please ask so that I can clarify it. Have a good day. Keep safe. Stay at home. Don't move around. Thank you very much.